So I just popped this platinum last week and wow, have you guys played Terminator 2D No Fate? This thing is awesome. It's a really cool run and gun adaptation to one of the greatest action movies of all time. The pixel art animations are unbelievably well done. The game follows the movie timeline pretty accurately and even adds little Easter eggs. It's the game we would have killed for in the 90s. So come with me if you want to dive deeper and dissect every little detail I found in Terminator 2D No Fate. First of all, the game is filled with digital assets from the film, and we can see immediately that upon starting the game. Take a look at the main screen when choosing a difficulty. Do you recognize any of these screen grabs? Level 1 has us in the desert, where Sarah Connor is coaching John on the use of firearms and how to be this great military leader. But suddenly, this huge hulking guy just grabs John and kidnaps him. And just look at how he hits John and carries him away. Doesn't that remind you anything? It's a direct riff on Double Dragon, when Marion gets kidnapped. Look at this. It's a very nice touch. And at the end of the level, you hop into Sarah's Jeep, which is the same one she has at the end of the first film. Level 2 has Sarah infiltrate the Cyberdyne research facility, where she hopes to blow up the whole place and stop Judgment Day. But she fails her mission, gets caught by the cops, and is sent to Pescadero State Hospital.
She tried to blow up the computer factory, but she got shot and arrested. Oh shit.
This is a detail that was only briefly touched on in the film, but it's a very cool addition. Also cool are these guys in hazmat suits, and while it's a bit odd that they'd need them in a computer factory, I think it's more of a reference to the T2 arcade game, where the same guys would throw beakers at you. And they're also in the film, take a look at that. At the end of the level, you find yourself in Miles Dyson's lab, the lead engineer who develops the Terminator CPU. That's pretty cool, and look at that, nothing will stop him from his research. Gunfight going on and he's not perturbed in the slightest. Where's Danny when you need him? Danny! Level 3 continues deeper into Cyberdyne, and this is a cool little detail. That reach for the alarm, it seems to be a riff on the scene where Gibbons tries to reach for it when ambushed at the front desk.
Don't even think about it.
After a bit of platforming action, we reach the end level boss, and it seems to be a giant mainframe, the CPU 7000. Very similar to the Skynet mainframe in the T2 arcade game, but that mainframe was called the CPU 9000. Level 4 is a future level, where John receives critical intel that Skynet has found a way to send a Terminator back through time. The run and gun action is heavily reminiscent of Contra, with this mid-level boss looking strikingly familiar. As we push forward, take a look at the background where we can see that Skynet is lifting an HK tank into the battlefield, and moments later, we face off with that very tank. That's such a cool detail. And how about these annoying flying drones? Remember them from the arcade game? Next, Skynet will call in a Centurion, and while we've never actually saw one in the movies, James Cameron had indeed sketched some concept art for it. Following that is a brief fight with a T-47, a lower-tier Terminator with dual chain guns, and an HK bomber which spits out silverfish, these slug-looking machines that slither across the ground, which also made an appearance in the T2 arcade game. But John and his soldiers are too late. Skynet has already sent a Terminator back in time to kill his mom in 1984, and failing that, another one in 1995. In a cool little nod to the first film, we see Reese as he volunteers to go back to protect Sarah, while John reprograms a captured T-800 to protect his younger self from the second Terminator. Now it's just a question of which one will reach him first. Level 6 sees the T-800 appear in 1995, which is, as we all know, where the second film begins. Arnold's T-800 goes into the biker bar and kindly requests,
"I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle."
And there's a few Easter eggs to point out here. If playing on the hardest difficulty, the T-800 will actually appear with a pair of purple shorts. This is a clear nod to what Arnold Schwarzenegger was actually wearing on the set during the night they filmed the actual scene.
Arnold walks into the bar wearing the loudest pair of purple Hawaiian print board shorts that he can, and everybody in the bar is supposed to keep a straight face, but it actually worked okay because they all looked down in surprise, and what he was trying to go for was the effect that they're all reacting to his enormous crank, I guess.
When walking up to the bar, we actually hear the licensed music that was used in the movie, Dwight Yoakam's Guitar and Cadillacs and George Thorogood's Bad to the Bone. And if you knock a biker into the jukebox, the latter song pops on even sooner. It's pretty awesome that developer BitMap Bureau actually sought to put the original music in the game, and it really makes me wonder how much money this cost them, because it surely wasn't cheap. If we look around the rest of the level, we can see a few graphical assets that are straight from the movie. The Pepsi icon, the neon sign that says sandwiches, the Budweiser guitar-shaped neon sign, Miller Lite beer, replaced by cold beer, that's clever, the light fixtures, and even patrons that are all around the bar. The biker with the sleeveless jean jacket, the other long-haired biker who gets thrown through the window, the guy with the cowboy hat, even the woman that's standing right next to the jukebox. They didn't have to do this, it just feels so cool and authentic. The T-800 also throws the biker into the kitchen where he lands on the hot gas range before taking what he came for. The T-1000 also makes his appearance here as the liquid metal Terminator, and this one really made me laugh when playing. Take a look at this shot, which is taken straight out of the movie, but with one glaring noticeable tongue-in-cheek joke. To truly understand it, we need to take a look at the original release of Terminator 2. Take a close look at this shot. Look closer. Anything look odd? This was corrected in later digital remasters, but here, the developers really bring it out by putting a huge block of concrete over the T-1000's nether region. It's pure genius. We then move to the Galleria Mall where John and his friend are playing video games, and we get a cutscene of the T-800 and the T-1000 shooting and fighting each other in the corridor.
Get down.
It's a bit of a shame that we didn't get some gameplay here of the fight itself, or even of the escape to the motocross bike that just won't start. But the action picks up again as we take control of young John Connor, who now realizes that his mom was telling the truth about everything and tries to escape the T-1000's big rig. Now when you're flying down that road, there are a few Easter eggs hidden here. The street we speed down is called BitMap Street, a clear reference to the developer, BitMap Bureau. Also in the background as we pass all the storefronts, we can see Big Jeff's restaurant, which is where Sarah Connor briefly worked at the beginning of the first film. We can even see Big Bun's statue, and over to the left, Sarah's scooter. And there's also one vehicle here that bears a striking resemblance to Todd's car, John's foster father. As John makes it into the canal, we get the infamous big rig jump, and we can even see that the cross street is Havenhurst, just like in the film. And it looks like the big rig's windshield stays intact as well. While the T-800 doesn't do that crazy motorcycle jump, he does pick John right off the bike and unloads into the T-1000. And it's very cool that when he's doing that, you also need to shoot the gates in front of you. And while it doesn't make much sense for the canal to even have these type of gates, it's a really cool addition nonetheless. We also get the tire fake out before speeding off, and the T-1000 surviving the crash and reshaping himself. Level 8 now places us in the shoes of Sarah Connor, as she is given new information that the T-800 is back. And after a great little animation of poor Lewis getting spiked through the eye, we zip to Sarah doing a few pull-ups on her sideways bed. This level is all about stealth, as she tries to make her escape through the Pescadero State Hospital, lockpicking her way through each floor, and even having a few close calls with the T-1000, who does his shape-shifting through the metal prison bars here. Dr. Silberman, unfortunately, is nowhere to be seen, but we do get a little bit of Sarah's interrogation scene playing on one of the TVs in the background. Nice touch, I like it. As Sarah makes it to the elevator, she comes face to face with the T-800, who then delivers the now iconic line.
Come with me if you want to live.
Here's a lockpick.
And there's even a slight nod to Resident Evil, as there's a trophy achievement for successfully lockpicking all the locks during the escape.
It might be handy if you, the master of unlocking, take it with you.
Sadly, there's no shootout sequence in the elevator, nor in the garage, and we don't get that iconic scene of the T-1000 on top of the police car as he tries to take out John. Instead, we pivot to the scene where Sarah and John reprogram the T-800, allowing it to learn through its interactions with humans. The game takes an interesting turn here, as it now allows to either reset the chip or not. If you do, the game will continue the story that we all know. The T-800 will learn, and it will continue to follow John's orders, and learn how to high-five. But if you don't, Sarah can actually convince the T-800 to later kill Miles Dyson. Following the movie's timeline, Sarah then falls asleep at the picnic table the next day and has a nightmare about the nuclear apocalypse. Upon waking up with a jolt, she realizes that she must kill Miles Dyson. But now, depending on your earlier choice of resetting the T-800's chip or not, you'll either ambush Miles Dyson's residence alone or with the T-800. This new scenario will now present us with another choice. If you don't kill Miles Dyson, everything will be explained to him, and he'll agree to assist you on destroying all of his research. But if you do kill him, the T-800 leaves with an upset John, and Sarah is then captured by the police, giving way to a new level where Sarah must escape a police station. What's really interesting about this new level is that it's modeled around the same police station as seen in the first film. You know, the one where the first Terminator took out 17 police officers in 1984? And look, there's Lieutenant Traxler and his partner Hal Vukovich. You can even see the same front desk, which coincidentally also gets wrecked by another vehicle crashing through its front doors. And look in the background, there's a mugshot of the first T-800. They're still looking for him, a decade later. And of course, we need to bring up the awesome music that's being used here because it's actually a variation of Brad Feidel's Tunnel Chase from the first film. Give a listen. Very cool stuff. The next level brings us back to the events of the second film, which is the assault on Cyberdyne systems. Hey look, it's Gibbons. At least we can confirm that he didn't leave the desk this time.
Gibbons, come on, man! You can't leave the desk like that!
Here, you'll need to attach a few C4 explosives on the yellow barrels on every floor and then escape. And if you chose to spare Miles Dyson, he'll help you open the vault here, and take one for the team. Sorry buddy, it's fate. But if you did kill him previous to this level, you'll escape without having time to get into the vault. Which kinda makes this whole assault a bit pointless, right? Cyberdyne research will continue, and Judgment Day will likely happen. In a third scenario, if you got the T-800 to pull the trigger on Dyson, then the entire level will be the T-800 taking everybody out without remorse, and you'll even get treated to a bonus scene where you'll need to destroy all the police cars from the window with the minigun. There are also quite a few visual details in this level. First, take a look at the computer screens. You can see that the silent alarm has been tripped.
The silent alarm's been tripped.
There are also schematics of the Terminator's CPU, police officers running in the background to get to you, and quite a few dinosaurs, which in the film was actually an Easter egg addition by Stan Winston's team due to the fact that they would soon be working on Jurassic Park. As the T-800, Sarah, and John escape after blowing up Cyberdyne systems, it's time to haul ass down the freeway, with the T-1000 giving chase in a police helicopter. This level is very similar to the T2 arcade game, except the helicopter doesn't try to constantly crash and one-hit kill you, which was arguably one of the cheapest parts of the T2 arcade game and was completely designed to rob you of your quarters.
Terminated. Excellent, let's go.
It's also very cool to see that the reticle is actually the same as the T-800's from the first film. It makes no sense given the context that it's Sarah shooting, but it's still kinda cool. Oh, and hey, awesome, the gardening truck is here too, and the T-800 lets loose on the T-1000 here. That's totally awesome. The animation is beautiful here. As the T-800 distracts and destroys the T-1000's big rig, we then reach the steel mill, where the T-800 will destroy the T-1000 in 1,000 pieces while saying his iconic line, "Hasta la vista, baby." And interestingly, if you chose not to reset his chip earlier, he won't say anything at all before shooting. That's a really cool detail. In any case, it's time to escape again. And as you're running away, you'll get ambushed by the T-1000 a few times, with 2 or 3 shots from the shotgun usually being enough to get him to leave you alone. But there's a cool sequence here where you'll have to drop a large pipe on him, and later a sequence where you'll temporarily crush him in a hydraulic press, which definitely feels like a reference to the first film.
You're terminated, fucker.
Also, you'll get treated to this beautiful animated sequence of both Terminators fighting, which is directly pulled from the film. Finally, reaching the climax, Sarah will unload a few more shotgun shells into the T-1000, as the T-800 delivers the final shot with his grenade launcher. Wait, did you see that? He did the finger wag. That's awesome. Just look at this animation. Wow, it's spot on. Of course, the rest as we know it follows. Sarah and John destroy the arm and the chip, and then they lower the T-800 into the molten steel, essentially erasing Skynet from existence. But again, depending on your earlier choices with resetting the T-800's chip or not, and killing or sparing Miles Dyson, the story continues into an epilogue of sorts, and you'll get the good ending, the bad ending, or a secret ending, depending on your choices. It's totally unnecessary, but it's fun to see that the developers tried to have fun with the source material. And that's pretty much it. A great game that, let's face it, is a total work of pure passion. It's a game for fans, made by the fans. Hey, check out these other videos. Thanks for watching, like, sub, everything helps. And remember, the future is not set. There is no fate but what we make for ourselves. But like the video anyway. See you next time.
You got to go now. Go! Now! Now!